At least in terms of competitiveness. That one sent over for the ace, Sian Seeger.
Yeah, that ball just...
A lot of cultures say that like male sports are the more dominant side of sports, and there is an increase of women athletics. So you can tell that it is trying to like come together and trying to get more outreach to women and athletes, but societies assume that like the physical aspect of like growing muscle and being strong and confident is on the more male side of things, even though that's really not a good differentiation between a woman and a man, because physically there's different hormones that we both have, and a female person can literally not get as strong as a man physically. It makes you work a lot harder for sure, because you don't really see that coverage overall. And I've gotten that question before for volleyball. For some reason, unless you're like in a predominantly like racial area, the team doesn't really have those differences, because like a lot of the teams I've had, it's only been me and like about one other person that was like of the same color as me. But I've never really took it as like a bad sign. I just feel like with volleyball, it's just a different upbringing, because like if you look at basketball, there's a lot more people of color that play that sport. So I feel like it's not necessarily like the place I was or like the team I had or anything like that. I just think it's legitimately the sport itself that just naturally is not as attractive as someone who plays basketball or someone who runs or something like that. So that's really what I've noticed, because every team, like I said, that I've been on, and I've been on different teams at like different clubs and at a different school and everything, and it's been kind of the same level all around. So I feel like it's just like the nature of volleyball and the sport itself. And that's just the way that I've really thought of it. My parents were definitely someone that I've looked up to because they were in the military. So I feel like the work ethic, like in the government institutions and stuff, is a little bit different than someone that's like a civilian, just a normal day worker. And it's more so they kind of had a little bit more normal jobs because they've worked in there for over 20 years. So like it levels out for them a little bit more compared to when you're starting at basic training and just getting into the Air Force and whatever branch someone might be in. It's a lot more rough for them with the specific training and how often they have to leave and travel and all of that, and the intense training with certain like certain situations that they have to go through and stuff like that. So I didn't really think of it until I got a little bit older. It wasn't until high school that we had like this military thing that my parents came to in my high school, and I don't know if it was like, it's because it was that, event or what it was, or that I was just, growing like as a person overall. It just made me really realize how much work that they've really put in for me, like as their kid. Because, as their kid, you're just looking at them for the most part like, oh, that's your parent, that's my mom, that's my dad. But it really it really made me see how much they were really willing to put in for me, because, they started doing it out for themselves, getting out of the hometown they were in, starting something new for them. But then it turned into something new for me. So for them both to be able to switch that mindset to work for me made me want to work really hard for myself, for them, and any other team or like team project or anything like that that I was on. Women's History Month means to me that it highlights and encourages the history and opportunities that women have got, like all, from the beginning. It's an opportunity to learn about like historic females, that have like paved the ground for all of us. It can be a space to like read and learn and just see how much like women have really worked for the rights that we have, because it's crazy to think, it really was not too long ago when all of this stuff was happening. Because, in history classes, it makes it seem like it was 200 years ago, 300 years ago, but in reality, it was even, 50 years ago that we were still struggling with like current issues today. So that this month is just a way to like, advertise and put it out there that like, hey, certain people have worked really hard to get that out there for us. And it also can empower young girls, like, growing up. It's a good representation of like I said, how we've worked, and, people can see that, and young girls and children growing up can be like, hey, she looks like me, or like, hey, like she's also a girl like me and she's doing this. Like, I never thought I could do that. So it's just a really great month to just really put out there that like you can do anything you want to do. You just, really have to work hard for it, because obviously if you don't want to work towards it, then, nothing's going to get done. So it just shows that like women have worked, and the work has been, a work in progress, and it's actually getting us somewhere. So it's a step to just show that like, never stop working for yourself. But what I would like to see improve is the acceptance and commit to the acceptance. So the change that really needs to happen, like I said, is to be able to willingly commit. Like you could say like, yeah, I'll cover these people this month, or yeah, we'll do this today, and then only cover one person and, only write 3 paragraphs, and then you go and do something on the men's basketball team or the men's swimming team and, write 5 articles on it. And obviously, that's going to overshadow, that one little article you did on that one individual. So it's, still give women that, the opportunity that we still have, but people just need to take that and actually, just commit to it and apply themselves to it. I think that's really just, like I said, the biggest social issue that we have is just fully applying ourselves to the situation.